सो फ्रेंड्स, आज हमारे चैनल पे एंड्री ये रोमानिया से हैं। ही इज लाइक बिजनेसमैन एंटरप्रेन्योर, और ये हमको कुछ आज मतलब अपनी लाइफ से रिलेटेड कुछ बताएंगे कि इनके लाइफ में इन्होंने क्या क्या किया और इनके वेंचर्स, इनके बिजनेसेस और ये कितना कमाते हैं। इनकी बहुत सारी ऐसी वेबसाइट होस्टिंग की कंपनीज थी जिनको इन्होंने सेल कर दिया, और बहुत कुछ अपना एक्सपीरियंस अगर आपको देखना है, बहुत ही जबरदस्त होने वाला है। अगर आपको कुछ जानना है, कुछ सीखना है, एक बंदा जो कि इंडिया से नहीं है, बाहर से, तो दिस इज पहला इंटरव्यू है जो कि मैं किसी आउट ऑफ इंडियन का इंटरव्यू कर रहा हूँ। सो अगर आपको देखना है, यू कैन कंटिन्यू दिस वीडियो। और पहले बता दूं कि ये वीडियो इंग्लिश में होने वाली है, क्योंकि एंड्री को हिंदी नहीं आती, और आती भी है तो थोड़ी वो समझ जाते हैं, बट बोलने में दिक्कत होती है। Andrei, can you tell little bit about yourself? Means, what you do, and little bit about your businesses, something like that, for my audience.
Sure. I'm basically a guy who, after doing okay with his businesses and losing all his money, hit rock bottom, recovered from that, and is now trying his best through his YouTube channel, through his books, to help people basically lead a better life than the one he had. So I started out as, some random kid from Eastern Europe. I made a bunch of money through online projects, especially development-related projects. And things were going great. I was making a bunch of money. I was setting money aside. I got accepted to college. And it seems as though life was on a pretty easy to predict course, except it wasn't. And my mom got sick. I had to take her to another country to get proper medical treatment. And my net worth evaporated. So from a very young age, I was basically forced to start from scratch after losing it all. I took time off from college. I started businesses again. I started investing in various assets. And only when I was financially secure enough to say, okay, it's time to pursue my passion, did I go back to college, got my bachelor's, master's, PhD, and did the took care of the academic dimension of my life as well. Mm-hmm. So essentially, that's pretty much my life right now. It's divided between things that are very good at making me a bunch of money, my various projects, my investments, whatever, and things that are good at giving meaning to my life, my books, my YouTube videos, and anything that's greater than myself, basically.
Yeah, great, Andrei, great. So basically, if you don't know that Andrei is running a YouTube channel, 1 Minute Economics, if I'm right? So ये एक बेसिकली चैनल चलाते हैं, इनका 1 Minute Economics है, मतलब उसके ऊपर ही कुछ बताते हैं थोड़ा बहुत, हालांकि मैंने ज्यादा देखा नहीं है, बट इनकी कुछ वेंचर्स थे, हिज so many businesses, और इन्होंने उन businesses के साथ मतलब बहुत अच्छा खासा अर्निंग कर रहे हैं. So we'll ask him little bit about his businesses. So Andrei, can you elaborate about your businesses, what you do and how you are earning and whatever, how your life is going?
Yeah, I mean, once I had to recover after losing everything, I basically kept things logical. I had my development businesses, a bunch of people trusted me. Then I went from, to offering a wide range of services, and including hosting, because they had confidence in me, and I said, okay, I'm going to offer hosting as well. That led me to running 3 hosting websites. That led me to exploring other opportunities in life. Like from one of my biggest clients, I learned about exotic assets. He was a professional domain investor from India, actually, who then traveled many thousands of miles to be the best man at my wedding. So that's pretty awesome.
Wow,
And my life just evolved from there. And before you know it, I had 3 hosting businesses, my development businesses, an auction platform. I had a small escrow site that was sold to a company, which then was sold to escrow.com, which was then sold to freelancer.com. And I was, on the one hand, I had my businesses. On the other hand, I had my investments in domain names, and later on in crypto, with which I did very well. And things evolved.
Andrei, if you don't mind, can we know at what price you sold that escrow website and venture?
Yeah, it was a small escrow website. It was one focused on small transactions. I think it was maybe in the high 4 figures that I sold it for. Then I sold my hosting businesses in the 5 figures. Initially, I sold 2 shared hosting businesses. Then I sold a dedicated hosting business, which was also doing well. And as time passed, I kind of tried to do this. I told myself it's time to focus more on the things I'm passionate about and give my life a deeper meaning, like my books, my YouTube channel. So what I try to do, and what I'm doing right now, is I've sold a bunch of businesses. And I use that money, I use the capital I have at my disposal to basically make my money work for me. So what I do is I diversify, I do various stuff, from investing in real estate here in my city and in certain properties that work very well in generating rent income. So from investing in tangible things to investing in intangible things like domain names or
Wow.
cryptocurrencies. And this is where I differ from most economists. I'm a hands-on guy. I don't, I don't just come with the book smarts, I come with the street smarts as well.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
when I talk about certain assets, I don't talk just from the perspective of someone who read some books and is telling you what he read. I'm talking from the perspective of someone who actually invests in those assets, who actually made money, lost money, went through it all in those assets. And yeah, this is my life right now.
Yeah. So since how long you are doing these kind of businesses?
It has been approximately 10 years since I
Oh,
had to
wow.
start from scratch.
Great.
And yeah, I mean, if I just think about how much stuff has happened in those 10 years, how many people I've met, how many skills I've acquired, because people hear me talk about the stuff I've done and they're like, oh my God, I don't even understand half the things. And to me, they seem simple because, from having hosting businesses and getting hacked by people from all continents and dealing with those problems, to investing in assets, to keeping my ears to the ground whenever there are new investment opportunities. To me, these are a part of who I am, and these things make perfect sense. But from the outside, I realize it's a pretty exotic story.
Wow, great. So, Andrei, as you told, like you are also investing your money in cryptocurrencies. So, as far as your experience, we want to know. So, what will be the future of cryptocurrency? Like earlier, it was on boom. Now it went down and it's going down and down. So, as per your experience, how cryptocurrency will stay or it will go somewhere?
As someone who lives in Romania, and I think you guys in India can relate, but someone from the United States or Germany or a more developed country, it's hard for me to explain these things. But as someone who tried to do business in Romania 10, 15 years ago, back when PayPal didn't accept us, back when it was so hard to get paid for what you're doing, the idea that you have this freedom of using Bitcoin, and Bitcoin doesn't care if you're from Romania or from India or from Japan or the United States, it doesn't care. Having this kind of freedom on steroids is the amazing opportunity, one of the amazing opportunities of our generation, I feel. So for all the right reasons, crypto is here to stay. But, and it's a major but, I tell people, if you want to invest in crypto, know what you're getting yourself into. Don't be surprised when the price goes from 20,000 to 5,700 or whatever, because this is what Bitcoin has been doing all along. Whether we're talking about the price action in 2011 when it went from $1 to 31 and before stabilizing at 2, even traded at a cent, or what happened in 2013 when it went up a lot but then collapsed and entered the bear market, or what's happening right now, you shouldn't be surprised because this is the way in which Bitcoin is acting. If you cannot handle that, if you don't have the discipline it takes, not to lose your mind when it comes to these price developments, you're going to do well. Otherwise, just don't do it. I tell people all the time, the things I do are not for everyone. If you're not, mentally strong enough to pull it off, or if you don't want to learn how to be, a guy who does things the way they should be done, just don't do it.
Yeah, great. So, Andrie, basically, as you also told about your book, one book you published and you are selling. So, can you tell us about a little bit of your book?
I have been to rock bottom, and I don't want people to I want people to have a better life than the one I've had. So basically, with my new book, which is called The Age of Anomaly, I have to say that never in my career have I been so worried about the things that I believe are going to be happening. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you guys real quick. It's called The Age of Anomaly. It's a book basically that teaches people how to prepare for the next financial crisis. And I have a reputation on 1 Minute Economics as a balanced guy who puts forth well-researched ideas and so on. So I'm not someone who's known to panic. And even more so, I even trade cryptocurrency. So it's not like I'm easily spooked by market crashes or whatever. But I tell people, when someone like myself starts being worried, it makes sense to at least pay attention. Like, I genuinely don't care about the money. The book, you can even work out your biceps with it if you want to. It's like 400 plus pages. And if you're in it for the money, there are better things to do than write books. So, like, for example, I have this huge promo period this week when you'll be publishing this video. And people, instead of paying the regular $10, which is cheap as it is, they can buy it for just 99 cents. So not even $1 for like 400 plus pages. So that's one. And two, to generate even more awareness, I have this huge contest going on 1 Minute Economics. You can find the rules if you visit the site, the YouTube channel now.
Yeah. So basically, I want to ask that this is a digital copy or that paperback?
Well, it is the one I've shown you is a paper copy. The one you can buy for 99 cents is a digital version. I am also going to have an audiobook later this year. And yeah, it's basically as close to being free as it can possibly get. And if you are to buy it, if you think it's interesting enough, I'd recommend doing it this week. And if you do, to kind of give people an incentive to promote it and tell others about it, I have a contest on my channel. So once again, until Sunday, you might want to check that out as well.
So Andrei, can you tell us about your existing ventures? Means how many websites you are running currently and how many ventures you are in? Some number.
Well, for the past several years, I've actually made it my #1 priority to sell my websites. So right now, what I do when it comes to the dimension of my life, which is about making money, is I make my money work for me. So I have my real estate business, which is doing well because I live in the second largest city in Romania, and you can do very well renting out properties to young people, to young professionals, things like that. So I have that dimension of my business. Then I have the various assets I'm investing in, from traditional ones to exotic assets like domain names and especially nowadays cryptocurrencies. I even trade cryptocurrencies as well when the market, I don't insist on making trades each and every day, but when the right market conditions present themselves, I can make quite a bit of money by trading cryptocurrencies. And these are the things that are remarkably good at putting money on the table. And the best part is that I'm getting more and more time to like focus on my YouTube channel, which of course generates revenue as well. But I mean, come on, the revenue you make from AdSense and book sales with royalties being so low, it's nothing spectacular. So people ask me all the time, I want a career on YouTube or I want a career as a writer. I tell them, if you're in it for the money, don't do it. Just trade cryptocurrencies or do whatever else is better at making you money than this. If you're not passionate, just go somewhere else.
It will not work for you. So, Andrei, as we know that you are into domain name businesses, you buy and sell domains on regular basis. So, if someone from India want to buy a domain and he want to sell and make some good amount of money out of it, so which kind of domains and what are the things he should keep in mind before purchasing any domain name? So, can you little bit your tip as per your experience?
First of all, I'm begging you to visit a website. I'm not affiliated with it in any way, domain+hosting.com, which has tons of interviews with successful domainers who, you know, can tell you from A to Z what they did right, what they did wrong. So please start by watching those videos. Then head over to domaining.com and start reading some domain name blogs. Domaining.com lists all of the domain blogs and you can read whatever you want. And even go to namepros.com, which is the top forum for domain name investors. This is the #1 mistake people make. They don't do their homework. So if you are thinking about investing in domains, if you're thinking about doing well, do your homework, learn the basics. You have so many smart people in the industry who will be happy to help you like learn the ropes. And only then will you think about, okay, should I invest in .com domain? Should I invest in something else? Which .com domain should I invest in? I mean, there's a ton of money to be made, not just in the 90s. Like in 2015 to 2016, you had domains that were worth $8 in 2009, got popular in China. And by the end of 2015, people sold them for over $2,000 each. So don't just think that domain investing is something that's limited to people who got started in the 90s. It's not. But it's not for those who don't do their homework. So
before
investing, forget about that.
Before investing, you should learn how to buy and some little bit homework you should do. So just related to domain name, Andrei, I want to ask, what is your that highest selling domain? At what price you sold your domain? Can you tell us a little bit?
My highest selling individual domain was not very high. It was into maybe the mid 5 figures. I mean, not very high. Of course, it was high, but not spectacular. My highest revenue has been from selling portfolios, like over a period of many many months, accumulating domains, looking for bargains, building a portfolio, packaging them nicely. Like at one point, I built a very, very nice portfolio of oneword.com domains. And then, when you have such a portfolio, that's when you sell. And I ended up selling for a bunch of money to another investor, basically. So kind of like he was a very well-funded investor. I did my work. I did my research. I built a lot of domains because I'm pretty good at finding cheap domains. You have to know your strengths and weaknesses. I'm not as good as selling for huge amounts of money. Some people are really good at that. But I am good at finding bargains. So this is what I did. I found bargains. I built portfolios. And then when I thought that the time was ready, I basically contacted people, leveraged my contacts and said, look, I'm selling this portfolio. Who's going to bid more? And my biggest exit in the domain business was that, like building a portfolio and selling that entire portfolio rather than just one domain. Well, people can find the easiest way to reach me is to just go to my YouTube channel, which is 1 Minute Economics. I also I don't really spend much time on it anymore, but for like 10 years, I've run a pretty popular domain investing blog, which is domainingtips.com. But I recommend domaining.com because people can find all of the blogs there, not just mine. But generally speaking, the easiest way to reach me is just go to youtube.com/1 Minute Economics.
So, Andrei, before wrapping up, I want to ask some little bit more questions. So, like, motivation is money, So, can you tell us about like how much money you are making monthly on an average? Not because I know it will fluctuate, and it is fluctuating. So
yeah, like of course, in a bad month you don't make anything. In a good month, when I sold my entire portfolio, you can make $1 gazillion. But as an average, like mid 4 figures to low 5 figures is definitely achievable. But it's achievable. It's achievable after you do this for many years. Like people need to understand this. You cannot start right now and have think you're going to make as much as I'm making, knowing what I know and having my experience and my background and all that. So, but I think it's a decent goal. Like if I can do it, pretty much anyone can.
if we can say it will land around like 5,000 to 6,000.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
which I think is very respectable. Of course, it's not, if you live in New York City, it's not going to seem like that much money. But, if you live in Eastern Europe like I do, or, it is a very, very, it's a more than decent living.
Yeah, great, Andrei, great. So, Andrei, before stopping this interview, I just want to know a little bit your advice to my audience, then how they can start an online venture and how they can scale it up.
I have one sentence for you that if you don't just listen to it, but if you internalize it, I promise in a few years you'll do well. Be a hustler. This is the number one thing that makes the difference. Like a lot of people, when they see that I'm doing okay online and that I've had this success or that success, they say, oh yeah, but that's because you're so smart, because you're so lucky that you're smart. But then I look back at my career and I realized that my greatest successes had zero to do with how smart I was. And they had 100% to do with the fact that I'm a hustler. I'm ambitious, I'm driven, I do things. Like I've done so many things that when people sometimes ask me, what do you do for a living? I just joke with them and say, I'm a professional doer of things. This is what I do. And this is what people need to do. No matter what it is you do in this life, if you want to build websites or if you want to invest or if you want to write, it's all up to you. But be a hustler. Be willing to bend over and pick up the dollar that everyone else is too lazy to pick up. Be willing to put in the hours. Be willing, when you're starting a new business, to work harder than everyone else, even if at the beginning you're maybe making less money than them, people who have jobs or whatever. You need to have a stomach for this. But if you genuinely become serious about hustling, about working your way to the top, about giving it 100% no matter what it takes and no matter how bad things get in life, you're going to do well. It's not about the brains, it's about the hustle. This is my number one advice for people.
One personal question I want to ask, Andrei, have you ever been to India or you are planning to visit India in coming future?
I've never been to India, but yeah, I'm planning to come. The best man at my wedding is from India, so one of these days I'm gonna couch surf my way to him. So it would be awesome to do it. Eventually, I'm gonna be more active in the conference scene. I'm gonna try to travel. I get invited to a lot of places, but I always have so much stuff going around that I never make it there. But I kind of promised myself that as of 2019, 2020, I'm gonna do my best to actually fly around the world and speak to people face to face.
Incredible India. India is one of the best place to visit. So we'll happy to see you in India and we'll meet.
We'll be happy to come over.
Yeah. Great, Andrei. It's been like a great experience having you on our channel, and thank you so much for your piece of advice you have given to our audience, and we'll hope for the best that people will also take something out of this interview and they'll implement in their life and they'll grow and they'll succeed in their career. So thank you, Andrei.
Thank you guys for listening, and I genuinely hope you're going to put our discussion today to good use.
आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन में एंड्री की जो बुक है वो मिलेगी और लाइक वो $1 से भी कम में है. If you want, you can take it. Or you can visit his channel. His channel name is 1 मिनट इकोनॉमिक्स, और देखिएगा कैसा स्टफ ये बनाते हैं, और जो भी रहेगा आप उनको कमेंट करके बताइएगा। पहला इंटरव्यू था जो मैंने इंडिया से बाहर किसी बंदे का लिया, और ही इज लाइक ऑसम मैन यार, बहुत अच्छा मतलब इनके साथ लगा मुझे। तो चलिए मैं इस इंटरव्यू को यहीं रैप अप करता हूँ और आपसे मिलता हूँ अपनी नई वीडियो में। अगर वीडियो अच्छी लगी हो तो प्लीज लाइक दिस वीडियो, शेयर करो और कमेंट करके बताओ कि कैसा लगा इंटरव्यू, और फ्यूचर में मुझे किन लोगों के साथ इंटरव्यू करना चाहिए, और जो भी आपको कहना आप कमेंट कर सकते हो, और नए मेहमान हो तो सब्सक्राइब करके जाओ। तो फ्रेंड्स चलिए मैं मिलता हूँ आपसे अपनी नई वीडियो में, तब तक आप यूं ही हंसते रहिए, मुस्कुराते रहिए, दिल्ली रहिए, गाजियाबाद रहिए, आबाद रहिए, जिंदाबाद रहिए। टेक केयर, गुड बाय।